I'm going to start off by introducing our first two speakers of the session, and that is Viv Dolby and Lizzy Audsley. You've already seen their faces in my slides, and for those of you in the region, you'll probably, you know both of them well from the MEaCC meetings. So firstly, Viv is the lead midwife for the MEaCC audit and also the MEaCC project manager for deterioration within the Improvement Academy at the Bradford Institute for Health Research. Within the NHS, she has worked in clinical nursing and midwifery roles within hospital and community settings and held regional and national research roles within the NIHR reproductive health and childbirth speciality. Viv's current work centres around early recognition and management of deterioration in women and babies. She's been responsible for rolling out MEaCC to all maternity units across Yorkshire and Humber, and is also supporting implementation of national MEWS and NEWT too. Lizzy was appointed to the Quality Improvement Lead for Yorkshire and Humber Maternity Clinical Network in 2018 and has been a staunch supporter of MEaCC over the years following that. She's also involved in the Better Births maternity priorities, as well as aspects of the Safer Maternity Care agenda, supporting providers and stakeholders to improve the quality and outcomes for women and their families. She's called herself Elizabeth here, but I'm going to call her Lizzy. Transferred into the North East and Yorkshire Regional Maternity Team in January 2024. So, Viv, Lizzy, if I could welcome you to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So Viv and I are going to provide a snapshot overview of the MEaCC data portal and some progress that we've made so far on the automation of data transfer, but also explain how we've been able to expand and develop the portal into its third iteration now, thanks to the phenomenal engagement that we've had from across Yorkshire and the Humber, and with the help of Athera, who have developed the system. So the flowchart provides a timeline summary of the portal development, which Debbie has highlighted earlier. There are just some further key points that we wanted to make based on questions that we've received when presenting this portal previously. So we've worked really closely with Athera, and they were formerly Net Solving, if you've heard us talk about Net Solving before. The company to develop the portal from its inception back in 2020. It was imperative that the portal was user-friendly, really simple to use, as we knew that clinical staff would be the main users of it. And we had a lot of feedback, and we have since that it is really easy to use, and people do find it quite easy to navigate through. So feedback and suggestions from those inputting the data have informed the content of the updates we've made, and as I mentioned, we're now on the third iteration of it. So data sharing agreements have been collected from every trust. I think Debbie mentioned earlier as well that we know it's important that trusts can only see their own data. All the data is held by Bradford Institute for Health Research. The central MEaCC team can view all trust data, but we can only view the anonymised data, so we can't see the postcode, the NHS number, or the date of birth. Just to give you a bit of background around who is inputting the data and who's responsible in each trust. So we have MEaCC leads who were nominated by the heads of midwifery and the directors of midwifery. And the MEaCC lead is often a delivery suite coordinator, but full-time data clerks have also been put into that role as they have the time to do it, and they input all the data. We've offered one-to-one training by the lead audit midwife, Viv, and we have held some monthly one-to-one drop-in sessions so that we can be there on hand to offer any advice and provide answers to queries and that type of thing. So everyone has an individual two-stage login, which is really important as well and keeps it really secure. So we've looked at the validity of the data as well. So we check, or should I say Viv checks every record to see for any apparent errors, and then feeds that back to the trust who's queried, who have entered the record. The aim with all the data collected on the portal, the aim is that we'll have all of the data entered during the care episode, we know that that is proving quite difficult in some units, just with IT facilities. And so we have created a case report form, which can be printed. You can use it electronically or printed, which has the same data points and questions on there, so that people can use it later on and enter that record retrospectively. So really excitingly as well, just lastly, and something that's already been mentioned, is that we have collaborated with the Yorkshire and Humber Maternal Medicine Network, and when creating the latest version of the portal, and they will now begin to collect their own KPI data. So a bit more of that to come. But if you have any questions, please come and see us. We're around all day, obviously. And we have a table at the side with some more information on it. I think it has been... people have been over there because I can see there's not much left of the documents we've put on there, so that's great. Please take this away with you. But Athera have also got a table just aside with some other bits and bobs for you as well, so do go and see them. And I'll now step aside and away from the mic so that Viv can go through the portal.
Thanks. So first of all, let me take my glasses off and then I can see you. Will you stand up, everybody that's been putting some data into this MEaCC thing? Please, don't be shy. Come on. Well, do you know what? I applaud you. Absolutely. We can't believe that we started this we rolled it out January 2021 in the middle of a pandemic, and we've had people doing that. And as of this morning, we've got 5,113 cases that have been uploaded. I always say that with a bit of ooh, because I think that's 5,113 ladies who've been unwell and required additional care, enhanced care during their pregnancy. So I think we all need to remember that. So I'm not teaching you to suck eggs, the people that have been putting the data in, but can I have it switched over onto mine? I can't see it.
Oh, I've got to do something.
You've got to do something. I've got that in there.
Down here. Sorry, I don't know what to do.
Oh, that's gone into there. Do you know, this is why I got the job, because I can't do tech. This is why this data is one of the most usable databases that you can ever do, because I would break anything. I can break an Excel sheet. I can wipe an Excel sheet. You cannot lose the data from this. You can enter data at any time of the day. You can start off one of the records. Oh, you're a star. You see, that's why he's got his job. You can start off any time of the day. You can go back to the data a month later. You're going to hear from Brian a bit later that 25% of the ladies that are receiving EMC are receiving it antenatally. So we ask you to collect the whole of the data. You've heard from Lizzie. There's a two-stage login, and this is just showing you our view. So this is the main, the central MEaCC team, and this shows you that we have no identifiable data here at all. So we've got the demographics section, and that's picking up really everything that you'd be taking, all the history at the booking visit. Straight away that raises a question. Why have we got to put it in twice? And that's what we get from lots of people, because you've got enough to do, you don't want to be doing that. And we're looking at the automation process now. We've started looking at it in Bradford, and we have Cerner that we use in Bradford, and you can write your own program. We've been to the informatics team, and they are busy mapping over the data fields for that, and I know Nicola's in the audience and she can't wait, can you, Nicola, for that moment, for that to come through. So you've got all the data that's here. We've put in some prompts because we're trying to get the best data that we can do, and so if no wait was recorded at booking, please complete the earliest recorded wait. We started this during COVID, and women were not going to community booking sessions, so we didn't have that wait with it. We've got ethnicity, we're capturing smoking status. What we've tried to do with all of this information is that we're following the reports, we're following the Embrace reports when they come out, and we're trying to incorporate all these questions, because the vast majority of the data, as Debbie has said before, we are not collecting in this. So we have section 2, and that's EMC activity data, and that's capturing illness characteristics. It's the reason for requiring EMC, the stage of pregnancy that the EMC was commenced in, and also the severity of illness that's there. We've made it as slick as we can do. So if you tick the lady's had sepsis, then it will open up sepsis questions, otherwise you won't see them. If you tick she's had a postpartum hemorrhage, then we've got certain questions that will follow that, but if they're not ticked, you won't see them. We then look to the level of EMC support, so that's capturing the length and the duration of EMC required. It's looking at the frequency of observations, it's looking at the types of monitoring that are used, and it's looking at the medication and the treatment required. Don't worry if you can't see it properly. I don't know what you can see. I can't see much. Oh, it's brighter there. Much brighter there. So come over to the side and we can give you kind of a labour database. And the other thing to mention is that we've got a training database. So it's the absolute mock-up of this, apart from the fact that it actually has an infographic now that Martin has been making from Athera. And so you'll be able to actually print out the infographic for your own unit. When you join the data collection. We're collecting physiological parameters, and that's up to the first 24 hours following escalation to EMC, and that also includes the blood, the venous records, and then any investigations. Delivery details, again, it's slick if the lady unfortunately loses a baby or has a miscarriage or whatever. It'll only ask the pertinent questions, and that goes into the outcomes of pregnancy, which we look at the maternal and neonatal outcomes. And we covered those up to 6 days for the baby after birth. We say for the women, if they're coming back and, you know, they've been in an EMC case, if you've got anything extra to add to that, you might have actually locked that case, but I can unlock it and you can add whatever information. Now, the best thing about this is that every one of these data points actually then goes into a graph. Now, for people like me that are not IT savvy, this is a miracle. So your length of EMC care, all I need to do is when I want to make a report, which I'm going to hand over to Lizzie because she always makes them pretty with it, but I can download the image of this and then it goes onto a report and then I can write a commentary around it. So everybody can do that, you know, and use it in whichever way you want to do within your organisation. So you find you're going to hear Brian and the team talking about the results after us, but it's absolutely brilliant with this. It also points out the units that actually aren't collecting as much data. Now, we know that things get in the way, well and truly, of this, but it's interesting to have a look here. Hull, Royal Infirmary, they employed a Band 3 data clerk, Stacey, and she's been absolutely brilliant. Now, trained her up, and then she comes with any queries at all. She'll go to the staff there, she'll come to me as well, but it shows you how they've really bounced ahead with that. And for any of you the anaesthetists, you've got your ICNARC clerks, so you know you could actually ask them with that. So then when you go along, EMC activity data, you've got all of your 25% of your ladies are requiring EMC during the antenatal period, and then you've got why did the woman require EMC, so everything goes into the graph. You've also got reports, so every now and then you'll find that you'll be having a look through the data and then you find this great big spike on your graph. So Martin again has been really helpful on this, and he's made some extreme ranges because we've had a lady that's 1,723 years old receiving EMC. We've had a BMI of 233. I mean, I know that, I'm trying to get there, but that's a lot of things. And we've got a length of EMC of 8,816 hours, so it just makes it easier for us to actually look at those. We've got frequently asked questions, and you can export your data. So if you've got a data bod in your department who's really good with it, then he can export all of your data using this. It doesn't make any sense to me when it comes out, but you just need a 7-zip, apparently, from your IT people, and you're away with it. So most users just have write-a-reader, log on, put your name in, press new case, comes up, and you're away. Do come and see us, speak to Athera, speak to us on the side, and we can send any of you a link to the training database from here. That's it. Thank you.